No, I like that. I like saying not.
Oh, you want me to say slightly?
Yeah, you can say that. That's great. I love words like that.
Oh, good. Okay. Are we on?
Yes.
Okay, we're talking with Aajonus Vonderplanitz again today. And Aajonus, I've noticed anytime I go into a health food store, sometimes 90% of the store, in some cases 100% of the store is supplements. You've got vitamins, you've got superfoods, you've got your algae, you have your protein powders. And I know from reading your book, you have a slightly different take on supplements. Can you explain why and what your position on that is?
Not slightly. Big difference on them. You have to understand how supplements are made. Now, most of your supplements that are not natural are all chemically derived. They are a look-alike. It's like you want a Rolls Royce. When you go get a supplement, you're getting a plastic model of a Rolls Royce. It will not do for you what it's supposed to do. Most people, when they start taking vitamins, they're also changing their diet. That creates their biggest change. Of course, they're going to be poisoning their bodies, because when you make a natural supplement, what they do is they take a food. Now, where do they get that food? To get it cheap, they usually go to some food manufacturer, buy their waste, and then dissolve that into a soup, and then extract what they want out of it. So most of the time, your natural supplements are highly contaminated and highly processed and cooked. Your supplement may say raw. That's because the laboratory made it raw, but where they got the food from their source, probably cooked it, cauterized it completely, all kinds of chemicals in it. But the laboratory that took it from there didn't put any more chemicals in it, didn't do anything to it, unless they had to dissolve it into a soup. Because the only way that you can extract anything from a solid substance is to dissolve it into a soup, into a liquid, and then extract from there. So, how does a laboratory that makes supplements natural, how do they dissolve a food to extract what they're looking for out of it? There are only two processes: gasoline or kerosene. Would you soak your food in gasoline or kerosene for 72 hours minimum till it melts into a soup, and then rinse it for 2 minutes and eat it?
Definitely not.
No, that food has gasoline or kerosene in it. Now, it isn't straight gasoline, it isn't straight kerosene. There are derivatives. Like the derivative most often used is hexane from gasoline. It just makes it tiny bit less toxic. But if you drink it, you're dead. You're going to dissolve your body. And these substances, whether it's the gasoline or the kerosene derivative, is in every particle of what's been extracted. So a lot of people think that they're getting high from supplements because they're getting this charge of energy. It's the kerosene or gasoline poisoning that's causing an adrenaline rush, and they're getting an adrenaline rush because the body will make hormones like adrenaline for emergency purposes. Because what is a hormone? It's probably 60 to 80% fat, 15 to 20% protein, and a small amount of carbohydrate structured. Now the body can use that to bind with poisons. So you intake these poisons, you consume these poisons, then all of a sudden your body rushes with adrenaline to try to save you from poisoning yourself to death. So every time somebody's taking a supplement, it's either entirely a chemical derivative, or it's taken from a food that's been soaked in kerosene or gasoline. There's nothing safe about any supplement. Now your superfoods are a little different. They may be foods that are dry. But in my research with dry foods, you can't digest them. Or very little. Why? Because they're enzyme inactive. Enzymes aren't alive as most people think. Enzymes are protein structures. They can be active or inactive. It's like you can have bubbly water or non-bubbly water. You can call bubbly water alive and the other one non-alive, but it has nothing to do with life. It's a chemical reaction. So if you don't have your enzymes active, you're not going to be able to utilize your vitamins in it. That's also going to restrict your protein and fat use of whatever you're eating. So any dried food is going to be a very inferior food. And if you're talking about algae, you're talking about a vegetation. We don't eat vegetation. We don't digest vegetation properly anyway. And then if you dehydrate it, it's just going to start becoming hydrated by the time it's 19, 20 hours into your digestive tract. And very little, I mean maybe a 1/1000th of a gram is ever digested of vegetation in the bowel. Bowel does not digest anything but proteins and fats. That feeds the brain and nervous system. So, whole foods is the way to go. These superfoods, I mean, you could eat honey with them, and it'll help you digest them, but still it's going to take a while before they start hydrating, and if it gets to the colon before you've begun to digest it properly, you're not going to digest it.
Mm. Okay, what about like protein powders?
Well, protein powders are made in the same way. If you get protein from something, what are they mostly using to get protein from these days? What do you read on the labels?
Whey and I think soy.
Soy.
Yeah.
A hard bean. We're talking about a rock hard bean. How do they get that into a powder form and extract the protein from it and leave out the carbohydrate? They soak it in gasoline or kerosene into a soup, and then when it's a soup, then they dry it, they extract, they have a way chemically or by process of heat of extracting the protein from the carbohydrates and the fats. And then they put that into a protein powder full of kerosene or gasoline.
Same with whey? Because I know a lot of bodybuilders use whey protein.
Well, what they do with the whey, just remember, whey is the liquid waste. So how do you get a powder from whey when it's 99.99% liquid?
Just dry it.
Yeah, and how do they dry it? They cook it, very high temperatures, to get it to evaporate quickly. And then they've got all these minerals on the bottom. You know? And there's very little protein in whey. So to me, it's a false advertisement. You know? Most of your protein stays in the milk curds. Very little proteins in that whey.